What's up guys, Damocles here, and by the end of this video you're going to understand why it's so important for you guys to pick up these 3 specific legendary weapons before the full game releases. It'll save you a lot of time and you don't have to go and farm every single legendary. You just need one of these 3 to really boost your gameplay when the full game releases. As always, follow me on my Twitch. I'm trying to boost those followers up, and like, comment, subscribe so the algorithm doesn't hate me on YouTube. Let's hop into it. First up, before I actually dive into the weapon itself, I just want to explain why it's important that you should pick up these particular weapons. So the way that the mod system works in this game, you can go and deconstruct a weapon and apply the mods that you've picked up from said weapon to any other weapon in the game that you want. The gun itself, being good or bad, doesn't necessarily matter. What really matters, and what is the bulk of your damage in the full game, is going to be the mods from your weapons and the mods from your armor pieces. I mean, seriously, like, one good mod could be the equivalent of an entire set of like bonus firepower attributes. Like, that's how powerful the mods are going to be in the full game, and that's why my first choice for you to farm would be the Amber Vault. Now, the Amber Vault, you might not like double guns. It's not a bad weapon, but double guns in general, they have a little bit harder time aiming, and that's kind of the point. But the biggest thing is Killing Spree, rank 3 on this gun. Killing Spree allows you to get increased damage when you go and get a killing blow, which you're going to be doing a lot of in the full game. And depending on which build you're running, the value of this mod increases tenfold, right? If you're running just a, I don't know, like a skill pyromancer, you might not care about this as much because you're probably not going to be shooting as much. But if you're running a weapon damage trickster or a weapon damage technomancer, this thing is going to be a potential mainstay on a lot of your weapons moving forward. Why? You're increasing your damage by 30% on kill, and it stacks up to 3 times. That's huge. So like blighted rounds, if you get a kill with blighted rounds and you refill your ammo and do whatever, you know, crazy mod stuff you have with blighted rounds, every single time you get a kill with that spread, as well as with the actual main bullets of the gun, you're going to be getting a stacking damage increase. Now, before you go and test this in the demo, in most of the bullet augmentation skills in the demo currently, this bonus does not stack up. So right now I have this on my trickster. I think I deconstructed one on my pyro as well, but let me just show you. So the way that it's supposed to work is when you get a kill, your damage increases, but the way it currently is broken in the demo is if you have one of those bullet augment skills active, you go and get a kill, you can see 42 and 27, none of this changes as I'm getting killed. But you can see above my health bar, you can see the buff that it provides. Now, if I was to go and get rid of my twisted rounds, and I just went and got a kill, 35, now the damage is 40. See what I'm saying? So right now it's broken. The developers know that it's broken. So in the full game, this should work with all bullet augmentation skills. It's going to be a huge damage bonus on pretty much any gun that you apply it to, and that's why Killing Spree rank 3 and the Amber Vault should be one of your go-to weapons that you want to be farming in the demo. Again, if you pick this up early, you can kind of just sit back and relax if you don't have a ton of time. Let's hop over to the second weapon. The second weapon is going to be the Voodoo Matchmaker. Now, the first weapon, the Amber Vault, I would put, you know, a tier above these other 2 weapons, but these other 2 weapons, they're both equally fantastic. I mean, honestly, they're all fantastic. I don't want to start a tier list here, but Ultimate Damage Link, just like Killing Spree, is another weapon mod that has some really insane synergy with a lot of different builds, and it's going to be important that you pick this up in the demo if you are farming. Now, you don't need all 3 of these weapons, but if you're managing to get one of these, you're going to have a little bit of a leg up. Shots link up to 2 enemies and they share 30% of the weapon damage and anomaly damage dealt. Now, this is another one that I'm fairly certain is not working properly in the demo, but in the full game will work properly. And again, I'll use Technomancer as an example. If you go and you're running a Blighted Rounds build, and you go and you hit multiple targets, and then you're mowing down one target and it's spreading that damage, you're basically double dipping on the mod proc from this gun. You don't necessarily have to use this gun, you could, but the important thing is the Ultimate Damage Link 3 mod is going to have some crazy damage synergy, especially with Technomancer. So let's just have a look at it, shall we? So here, let's just go, we'll hit you a little bit, you can see the proc on him, and hit you as well. You can see it already acts as like a pseudo Blighted Rounds build. So now these are both hit, and when you hit one, it does damage to the other one. Now you can imagine if you're running a full weapon damage Blighted Rounds build full game, you're basically doing the same thing twice. Like your AoE clear is going to be phenomenal. And the thing is, it counts anomaly damage dealt as well. So even if you're running like an AoE pyromancer and you want to go and tag a bunch of people and then hit them all with like a pyro bomb, this is going to add another level of damage amplification onto your already busted AoE pyromancer, right? So you can go shoot 2 enemies with Voodoo Matchmaker or a gun that has damage link activated, and then you pop a heat wave on them. They're gonna share damage. They're both gonna share damage. Like, that's gonna be pretty nutty. It'll be pretty nutty. So that's why Voodoo Matchmaker is my second choice that you guys should absolutely farm up if you can in the demo. Just a side note, the way that Legendaries work, well, the way that all the guns work is that you can only swap like one mod. So there is actually a very high percentage chance that Voodoo Matchmaker in general, like the gun itself, even though I think that epic guns are going to end up being better in the long run, there's a good chance that Voodoo Matchmaker, the gun itself, is actually going to be super, super useful, like on its own. Like if you could go, right, like hypothetically, say you don't like Amber Vault, you don't like how it shoots, but you really like Voodoo Matchmaker, you can go and take Killing Spree, toss it on Voodoo Matchmaker, replace vulnerability bullets, and now you've got like a really nasty assault rifle that gives you weapon leech, healing, increases your healing received, and increases your close range damage. So again, all around great gun, highly recommend. The final gun I had to swap over to my Pyromancer for is the Golem's Limb. Now, just like the other two, it's because the mod on it is insanity. It's insanity, like legit crazy. And I feel like people are overlooking it because everyone's obsessed with the Airy Master because it does a lot more damage than it in the demo. But the reality of the situation is that Golem Rising, the mod, is crazy. For those of you that haven't played Devastator, Golem provides you with a 65% damage reduction, which, if you've played any other game in the history of mankind, 65% damage reduction, like I can't even begin to explain to you how big of a deal that is in terms of survivability. And the reason why Golem Rising rank 3, you know, the tier 3 mods, is there's no cooldown on it. Killing shots grant you a protective golem effect for 3 seconds, which means that if you just keep killing with this thing, you're going to be essentially walking around with a permanent 65% damage reduction, and you don't even have to play Devastator to get it. Now, if you're playing Devastator, there's a lot of perks in the skill tree that will increase Golem's effects, and some of their skills actually, what's the word I'm looking for, synergize quite well with Golem Rising. Like, I don't know if it's a bug or not, but sometimes your reflect bullets can like try and activate it. Like, there's various like weird interactions that work with Golem Rising and Devastator that I won't go into here, but what you really need to understand is that, like, for all other classes, especially as you get up higher into the world tiers, having a permanent 65% damage reduction is the most ridiculous thing imaginable. Like, you can have a full glass cannon build, just slap on a Golem's Rising onto one of your weapons of choice, and you can basically get the tankiness of a Devastator on any other class. And so, just to show you, let me do a little demonstration. So, again, there's no cooldown on it. It's a tier 3, so it lasts 3 seconds, and if you just keep killing people, you're going to keep sustaining this buff. You can see right above the health bar, the buff pops up. If I just keep shooting things, the buff is going to stay up there until I stop. And the damage reduction is quite significant. I mean, quite significant. Now, you can see, like, I'm taking significantly more damage now. If I go and... you can see there's a very clear difference in how much damage you take with it activated versus without it activated. Now, is this going to be like the absolute creme de la creme of damage builds? No. I'm personally of the opinion that I think glass cannon builds are going to be the way to go. But later on down the road, if you're increasing those challenge tiers and you start getting nuked out of nowhere, having a permanent 65% damage reduction, mwah, mwah. And that's why you should definitely pick up Golem's Limb. Now, I do just want to say before the video is done, I'm not pooping on all of the other legendary guns. I've got a bunch of them. They're all great. They're all very cool. Iceberg and Rare Rogs, they're all great in the demo because they have significantly higher damage than their counterparts in the demo. However, the mods on these other guns aren't necessarily going to be those top tier class mods in the full game. And with the fact that, like, later on in the world tiers and challenge tiers from expeditions, you're going to be able to go and grind for guaranteed versions of some of those legendaries, it's not as big of a deal if you don't pick them up early, because you're going to be able to get them later, and at that point they're going to have a much higher base damage and firepower and all that. You're not going to have to upgrade them. The important thing here is you want to be focusing on gathering the important mods, because those are going to carry you through the entirety of the game, not just, you know, using an Airy Master for 2 levels in the demo and into the full game, right? So please don't think that I'm saying the other weapons are bad in any way. They're not. I'm farming with the Airy Master gun because it just does so much damage in the demo, but the reality of the situation is that, you know, the mods on it are not insane, right? In comparison to these 3 that I've showed you today. So I'm gonna go and release some of my theory crafted builds in the next couple of days before the launch, and I'm going to be streaming this hopefully the day before it actually releases worldwide, because I'm going to swap my time zone to New Zealand. I'm hoping that I don't get flagged as a cheater for that, but everybody does it on Xbox anyway. And I thought it was important for you guys to understand that you don't necessarily have to be killing yourself going and, like, farming every single legendary. When you can, if you just get like these 3, it's gonna be a big bump up for you in the full game. So with that being said, I hope you found this to be useful. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any suggestions at all, I'm more than happy to listen. Some people have already given me some great suggestions. And please go and follow me on my Twitch. Say hi. I try and respond to everybody with any questions or concerns that you might have. So yeah, just hit me up. Follow me, twitch.tv/Adamocles, and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks, guys.